Hello, my name's Leslie Wood and I own and manage LMW Consulting. I started my business technically first in 2002 because I was made redundant from a digital agency. It was one of the first and I think the largest digital agency in Scotland, started in the late 90s, and it was bought over by Great Universal Catalogues, which I believe now is branded as Very. And I'm a business for 3 years and then joined Targeting Innovation doing very similar work. I've been delivering training workshops since 2002 on why people should get websites, the flexibility that the internet offered by working at home. I worked and delivered workshops on the broadband bus, which was such a thing back then. And I left Targeting Innovation after 7 years when Scottish Enterprise took numerous outsourced contracts that we ran back in-house, and it had an adverse effect on the business. So that's been since 2012 that I've been running LMW Consulting again. It's predominantly me, but there are particular projects, for example, in East Ayrshire for the training delivery that I work with associates, and Stuart Forsyth is my associate. I think what's different about Stuart and I in this particular scenario, looking at the training workshops, is that we work hands-on. We're not just trainers. So we deliver a lot of the practical services that we train people on. So just now in my case, I have a number of clients that I'm working with on a regular basis. I have 2 software companies, 3 tourism businesses, 1 health and safety business, 1 skincare client, property management, manufacturing, and also a farmer who is a cheese producer that's just brought over a farm shop, which I'm helping them launch. So I do a lot of practical work as well. And in addition to the training that I'll talk about in a minute, I also technically I'm a visiting lecturer at Glasgow Caledonian University, and I started that in January 2020. Just before the pandemic. It's incredibly part-time because the term only lasts for 12 weeks, and I might take 1 2-hour class a week, and sometimes I'll take 3 2-hour classes a week. I've just finished working with a group of 24 fourth-year honours students on their practical assignment, where they actually have to create a PR strategy for their live client. They're married up with live clients, and then one of them picked a Ayrshire charity called Give a Dog a Bone, and I've just finished marking that. So I do a whole variety of work, and a lot of it's very practical. I work intensively with Pearson House Hotel in Troon, and I do all their social media, all their email marketing. I've scoped out their new website. I've tendered for that. We're about to appoint somebody very soon, hopefully. I do all of their measurement and reporting, looking at their analytics, their tag manager requirements, etc. So and Stuart's very similar. In Stuart's projects, Stuart actually makes video, does photography, content creation, builds websites. So when it comes to us delivering training, it's not just something that we've learned about, we've actually implemented it. We work on it on a regular basis. So to tell you about what I do in terms of training and what life's been like for the last 2 or 3 years, I've been working with East Ayrshire Council. I've been delivering training workshops for the various scenarios, whether it's been a formal framework or informal engagement, since 2012, delivering a whole variety of topics from, when Instagram first came to the market and was a predominant player, about what that was, from taking people through a live audit of their website in a training scenario, to Google Analytics. And predominantly in the last 3 years, I do a lot of branding training, so brand strategy, auditing your brand, personifying your brand for social media, digital marketing strategy, or just marketing strategy. There's a whole list in the documents that I've completed. Stuart tends to do practical content creation. That tends to be where his strengths lie. But East Ayrshire Council is not the only people that I deliver training for. I work with the Build Ayrshire programme. I've worked with them, I think, for about 3 years, because I know that I predominantly started that online. I also work with Build Lanarkshire, the Scottish agri-tourism sector, which became a new sector. That was in 2020. So that's farm businesses that have tourism on site. I've worked with them intensively on a variety of projects, but I also deliver training for them. I delivered training for them at the start of the pandemic, when we were at home, educating them on how to keep in touch with our client base on social media, because we were hopeful, we knew it wouldn't last forever. And what I've done lastly for them is I tend to do a consultancy project with a client because they like it to be very specific to them. So that might be branding. Recently, it was reviewing someone's website, doing their SEO, and looking at a target market. And then I deliver a training workshop. So the client comes along and they'll talk about it. They tend to be full day training sessions. And then I'll deliver a summary of the consultancy piece and what the client got out of it and the changes they're going to implement, but I'll also educate the audience. There's usually about 40 of them on the topic specific. And the last one was in Castle Douglas about 2 weeks ago. And that was all about identifying your target market and creating content appropriate to that target market. Once a year, I deliver a 2-day intensive training programme for Hospitality and Tourism Scotland. They're known as HIT Scotland. And I have a number of ad hoc requests now to deliver training. Last year, it was for the Association of Craft Makers and trade bodies that I hadn't heard of until they engaged me. So I have a lot of training experience. I've been standing up, delivering training workshops and delivering them online now, but all in all for about 22 to 23 years. So I would be delighted if Stuart and I are selected to remain with East Ayrshire Council and continue to deliver across all of your venues, whether that be in person or online. And I look forward to hearing from you very soon. Thanks for listening.